Donna Spears. I am the Chief Spiritual Consultant of Spears Spiritual Consulting. With me today is Audrey Long and Brother Frank Johnson. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
My name is Brother Frank Johnson, and I'm with the Pine Bluff Council of Elders. Thank you.
And I'm Audrey Long. Thank you. I'm the Executive Director of Grace Gardening in Pine Bluff. We are a nonprofit that curates a new community garden here on State Street, the State Street Good Earth Garden, and we try to emphasize sustainable processes in our garden.
Our topic today is disaster preparedness, the importance of it, and what practical steps we can take to ensure the livelihood of ourselves and our families. So, first-hand knowledge is Brother Frank Johnson, who was a victim of Hurricane Katrina. He spent a lot of time in the Superdome, and he's with us at Pine Bluff, and he will begin by telling us his struggle to survive.
Okay. First, I want to emphasize the importance that every family has a disaster plan. Such as where you're going to meet after they have a disaster and have everybody accounted for. You know, because we had a lot of those problems, you know. In New Orleans, what happened was a lot of the brothers had their kids and their wives went to Houston. So they were wondering where their wives were. You know, and all communications had shut down. Whatever charge you had on your cell phone, you better use it wisely because you're not going to be able to recharge it. You're going to shut down in the first place. So it's important that every family get together and have a disaster plan, like where we going to meet up, you know, and see if everybody's accounted for.
You talked about, a little bit earlier about your being a Vietnam veteran and how that prepared you for surviving.
Right, it did. Because I was the kind of veteran that got court-martial, I disobeyed all this, but I'm still here. See, the problem was that inexperienced military training officers over experienced people. So my logic was not to follow nobody who went to West Point or the Naval Academy, you know, in no war.
But then how did that experience with you actually being overseas help you with surviving Katrina? What techniques?
Well, the techniques was not, you know, the people they tell you don't talk to, I did. You know, I actually had a relationship with the North Vietnamese.
Okay.
You know, and we would talk. And the main thing that woke me up, see, my age at that time, I was 17, going on 18, you know, and I was drafted, you know, and they would tell you, the enemy, see, you have to told me this. Said, why are you over here killing us and you got problems, you can't go where you want in your own country?
So it sounds like the most
Now, if you would be told that, and you over there fighting the enemy, that's going to mess your mind up.
So this sounds like the most important thing that you took away was building relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're able to build family community everywhere you go.
Right, anywhere I go.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I did after I left Vietnam. I was sent to Germany. And I got discharged in Germany, you know, with this idea that this is the first time in my life I'm going to have a chance to see all these European countries, like Amsterdam and all these other countries. And that's what I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I lived in Europe for a year.
Audrey, with your emphasis being on nutrition, can you explain how we can be prepared for disaster?
So some of the things that we do in, let's say, the community garden space is teaching, demonstrating techniques of how to grow your own food. right now at our garden space at 14th and State Street, we are building raised beds to accommodate more of the elders. Our raised beds will be 16 inches high and then waist high. Doing techniques like hugelkultur, that is filling the beds primarily with organic material. That's tree stumps, waste that we have from our landscapers, and then topping it off with soil where we'll be growing food. We're growing food throughout the fall and winter, like kale, our collards, things that are very rich in mineral density for the nutrition of folks. And then also at that site, we also have a free farm stand where we partner with area pantries and we're able to distribute food to the community just with a street side, or we call it a street side relay. Just pull up to the street and get what you need. The goal has been this year to serve at least 1,000 meals a month to depend on what is it.
Yeah, when I first came in, I joined Highland and I started off an organization that we called the Brotherhood. And that was to bring some traditional things back, you know, and teach the young folks now. A traditional thing that I struggled hard to bring back, and I don't see nobody doing this, preserving our food.
Preserving.
Yeah, which is mason jar.
Yes.
See, that's what we had during hurricanes.
Right.
You know, and stuff. You know, my grandmother and them, you know, they would try to teach the young girls how to pass this down, but they weren't interested in that.
Right.
And that's very important.
But there's
Because
the
you
interest
had-
now.
But you
Huh?
know,
The interest is
really
now.
from the experience of supporters, the customers that are coming through this garden space, if we can get our folks, the young folks,
Right.
to take more than 2 onions, 5 onions, or 5 pounds of onions, learn how to chop them up, save them in storage bags and even freeze them to be able to last a little bit longer. That's more of an immediate step that I'm seeing to get them in the direction to canning.
Yeah, canning is very
If we
important.
can get them to preserve a little bit longer on that.
Right. They even can watermelon rind.
Yeah, sure. All
You
kinds
know,
of
pick a
things.
watermelon rind. Boy, they delicious.
I agree. It is a lost art.
Yeah.
And then even recently there was a canning class with
They have one?
extension service. Yeah,
Y'all have
extension service and yeah.
So canning is great, freezing is great,
Yeah.
but if you're in the middle of disaster and you need to move your items quickly,
Yeah.
what are other ways?
Dehydration.
Dehydration.
Yeah.
Because a dehydrated apple weighs a whole lot less than apples in a can.
So there's a number of techniques, and I agree. We do need more exposure along that line, but I'm telling you, as I see the food being distributed, let's say from our site and from the other pantry sites, if we can get people kind of oriented to being able to do things in freezer storage bags.
Yes.
I think that's an immediate step to moving folks to, first of all, getting us back to cooking again.
That's right.
We're really
Too
more
dependent
oriented
on-
to fast food.
See,
Yeah.
I
And that's not even
grew up
food.
in the era
That's Franken food.
where we
Yeah.
didn't depend on electricity and stuff.
Right.
You know, we had an ice box.
Mhm.
You know, not no refrigerator.
Right.
We had ice boxes, you know, back then.
So with
Canning was the thing.
with the holidays coming up, everyone's in the gift giving mode, but I think it would be better if we prepare, especially our children, with bug out bags. And one of the most important things you can put in a bug out bag is some dehydrated foods that travel easily and have a long shelf life. What are some other things that should be in a bug out bag, right?
Well, you just said dry, sun-dried food, you know. In case, I had a program on teaching kids how to survive in the woods. And the most important thing is they have to know a little astronomy.
Okay.
Because the thing is, as a part of astronomy, if you learn where that North Star is, you'll never get lost. Because you know that the south is at your back, and the east is at your right, and the west is at your left.
So this really basically sounds like really a lot of the skills from scouting.
Yeah.
Boy Scouts.
Well, see, I watched how the Africans traveled to Sierra Desert, and the people wondered why. But they knew astronomy. They traveled to use the skies with that. You know. And when you hear people talking about the seven sisters, they're talking about the Orion, you know. And there's some knowledge and all that. So basically, people say they don't believe in astronomy, but you ask them their birth sign, they tell you their birth sign, right?
That's very accurate.
So are you, do you have a active group or something here where people can actually learn this? Or what would you suggest?
Well, me and a sister started a group here. We have a group here. This is our headquarters here. It's called Watoto. Watoto is Swahili for children.
Okay.
And we have a 501c3, you know, and this is the headquarters here.
So you actually teach how to
Well-
navigate in some of those
Well,
bookouts?
I was doing things at the Merrill Center. He has the videotape of it, you know. And our children, I asked our children some questions at the Merrill Center. There's a large group there. I hope we can show y'all the video. And they did, when I asked the question, what is your mother country? They didn't know. Now, there's other times where I've been embarrassed about that. I went to Pine Bluff High, and Miss Collins invited me over there to speak in history class. And I asked that question. Do you know the black kids in the class couldn't answer the question, but the white kids did?
Well, let's back up some. Let's make sure we stay on topic with the disaster preparedness.
Right.
What can we do to be prepared for disaster? And so we talked about the bug out bags and
Cannon.
And cannon. Audrey, what else do we need to do to be prepared?
I'd like us to, at some point, put emphasis on safety, being able to use different tools, that sort of thing. I know that's one of my desires. I have a gentleman who's a veteran who is a fisherman, is a hunter, does a lot of those things, and has offered to come and do some trainings. We'll probably try to schedule some of that as I can kind of pare him down probably in the next year or so.
Then the most important thing, and this happened when we was in the Superdome, people didn't have their medication.
Medicine,
Right.
yes.
So, there had people in there that had high blood pressure were about to have strokes. So what we did, me and the veterans did, we went and broke into pharmacies and got medication for people. Because the VA hospital was like across from the Superdome and the state hospital. So I got together with the veterans. I said, this ain't no problem. Let's go break in the pharmacy and get the medication.
Not that we advocating for breaking in pharmacies,
Well,
but
see, when a disaster comes, thou shalt not steal is on hold, baby.
necessity is the mother of invention. Breaks up pharmacies not to take away, but
Now, some of these things that we had to do, and some of the people, especially the ministers that were there, was objecting to what we was doing. And that's what I told them. Oh, that's on hold right now, Rev.
for those of you who might not want to go to that extreme route, there are herbal remedies that are lightweight, that are easy to fit
That
into
you
a
can
bag,
pack and carry
that
with you.
That you can take. For example, if you have high blood pressure, you can take some red pepper, you can take some apple cider vinegar and some garlic, and that will help to lower your blood pressure for an extended period of time until you're able to get proper medical care. We need tools in the bug out bag. You also need weapons in the bug out bag. Communication systems. It is very easy to find those portable cell phone chargers to carry with you. And especially have a plan. Those of you who do not plan to succeed, you will plan to fail.
Doomsville.
Yes. So make sure you have a communication system, a plan, so you and your family can be accounted for. Because if one group of people's in the shelter here and someone else in the group across town or whatever, and you don't know, some of you might risk the challenge of trying to find your relatives. So if you know where they are, or you know what the plan is, you won't be in a hustle to be prepared.
Because you already planned to meet at a
Yes.
certain place.
And make sure you take an extra set of clothing. Just one clothing, it can be an aluminum foil set like the sweatsuits, but that'll keep you from being too wet or too cold. Can we think of anything else?
This really sounds interesting. Is there any other material that you can read or any other
Well,
resources or something that we get?
yeah.
Because I'd like to know more.
well, there's a video of that, what happened on it. It's called, When the Levee Broke.
Yes.
Is that bro?
Yeah, that's the title of it.
Yeah, we still here.
You know. And here, when I got here, a guy came and talked to me. He said, y'all putting all this here? He said, they can't talk about y'all in Pine Bluff. He said, let me show you something. I got in truck with him, and he brought me out there to Packentown. Y'all know what Packentown is?
Oh yeah, that's
Do you
on
know
my
they
side.
cut the levee right there by Packentown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And nobody said nothing about that.
Wow.
So if river overflow, the water gonna come
has
in.
overflowed several times.
And it's gonna come right in there on Packentown.
Yeah. Okay, so
In the
the
black community.
takeaway is to be prepared and make sure you keep your spear sharpened. Again, this has been Black 365. Thank you for tuning in.